Road Trips and Missing Persons by Adriana in the Snow, Chapter 23. Would anyone care to explain themselves? Logan asked the room, filled with the most frustrating human beings he'd ever met. He must have infused his voice with the desired amount of ire, because everyone in the room seemed to wince simultaneously, except, "No thanks," Remus chirped. Logan shot him a tired look and stepped forward. "Wait, Dad, no!" In a move he'd been using since Remus was a rambunctious child, Logan swiftly put him in a headlock. "We're going downstairs," he told the others. His son was a bit wiggly when Logan started to pull him toward the elevator in the other room, but he didn't actually put up a fight. In fact, the wiggling usually meant he was pleased with the attention. He let Remus go when they got to their destination. The elevator was small enough that they ended up taking it in two groups. Logan ended up in an elevator with Lena, his sons, and his brother. There were a couple of moments of awkward elevator music. "I am very displeased with everyone in this elevator," Logan informed them all. No one responded but Patton, who patted him on the arm. Logan turned on him. "You are at the pinnacle of my ire." There were a few seconds of drawn-out silence, and then Patton removed his hand. "Wow," he said after a moment. "You could hear a pinnacle drop." "Kids, you no longer have an uncle," Logan said coolly. "That's right," Patton said with a smile, despite the glare Logan was sending him. "You only have a punkle now." Roman snorted out a laugh, but quickly looked away when Logan glared at him. The elevator came to a stop, and they climbed out of it. "You all go to the conference room while I wait for the rest. Except you." He pointed at Lena and her bloody nose. "Fred can debrief me. You go get that checked out." She shot him a thumbs up, because apparently the lack of respect for his authority had rubbed off on her, and wandered off towards medical. Roman said tentatively. "Yes," Logan asked, already even more tired. "Also, Janice may or may not have a broken rib. At least he said he might have." "Why on earth is he walking around then?" Roman just shrugged in response to Logan's question. "And send someone down to look at Janice, apparently," he called after Lena right before she turned the corner. "Anything else pressing?" he asked the three still with him. "No? Then I'll see you all in the conference room in a few moments." "Conference room 16 or 17? Remus asked. "Remus, everyone here is aware that room 17 is a broom closet," Logan said. "No one is falling for that again." Remus shot him finger guns. "Conference room 17 it is," he said, turning to strut down the hall. Roman shot Logan an awkward half-smile before following after his brother, and Logan's own brother jerked forward to smack his lips against Logan's forehead before waltzing off after them. Why was his family like this? He turned to wait for the elevator to go back up to the factory and down again. He crossed his arms as it arrived. "You're injured?" Logan asked as the doors opened. Most of the occupants looked confused, but Janice looked slightly annoyed. "Remus," he muttered. "Roman, actually," Logan corrected. "I'm having someone sent down to look at you." Don't even try to argue right now. You're second on my list today." "Remus is first?" Janice asked. "Of course Remus is first." "Where am I on the shit list?" Remy asked with interest. "Somehow only fifth." "Score!" "But you're inexorably moving up." "But I'm not in the top 3. "No, my children and brother fill the spots above you." "You said I was second," Janice said with a frown. "Yes," Logan said. "Also, you're grounded." Then he turned to walk through the conference room. "Wait, Logan, what does that mean?" Janice asked his back. "It means Logan owes me a buttload of child support," said Remy. "I am not your kid. You are not my dad." "Sure, son." When Logan made it to the correct room, his family was already hard at work making his life a series of aggravations. Patton and Roman were already bent over some sort of project that involved markers, but Remus was missing. Before even stepping into the room, he turned to the opposite side of the hallway and opened the door to the supply closet. "Get in the correct room before I make you get into the correct room," Logan said. "Come on, Dad. You know it's not nice to force someone out of the closet." On most days, Roman would not have found that at all funny, but today, for some reason, it elicited a snort of surprised laughter. Remus smiled up at him from his seat on the floor like he always did when he'd done, or thought he'd done, something clever. "Don't," Logan warned, wagging a finger at him and trying to smooth the smile off of his face. It was difficult since his chest was light with the relief of everyone he cared for being relatively unharmed. "Don't. That doesn't mean you are forgiven. I am very, very unhappy with you." Remus just kept grinning. "I am relieved that you are safe and happy to have you back with me," Logan said, "but I am also very angry." That's fair. Now get out of the closet." Remus found it fit to obey him for the moment, and stood, following him to the conference room where the others had gathered. Patton had somehow found a stack of name tags somewhere, and had managed to convince Roman to help him draw little pictures on them along with the names. Patton stuck one with a broom drawn on it onto Remus when he came in. He noticed Virgil's had a knife drawn on it, and Remy's was a cup of coffee. Logan's own was, aggravatingly, a mobile phone. Remy and Frederick were currently forcing Janice into a chair while Roman avoided the glare the injured man was sending at him, and Emil was talking quietly to Virgil. "Okay," Logan said. "Let's start with the ones who haven't started to explain yet. Roman?" "My phone got broken, probably somewhere between Janice tackling me and hitting me in the face." "Oh, is that why Dad texted me about where you were 1,000 times?" Remus asked. "Yes," Logan said, "and you said you didn't know." "I didn't say that, actually." "Remus." "I was in the middle of something, and then I forgot." "And then it ended up at the bottom of a lake," Roman said. "And then it ended up at the bottom of a lake," Remus agreed, "along with Roman's car and us for a minute." "You drove your car into a lake?" Logan asked Roman. He felt like his eyes were going to start twitching. "Is that why you're all wet?" "Yes, he did," Remus said. "Hey, no," Roman said. "I managed to stop the car before it went into the lake. It's not my fault the guys behind us aren't as good drivers as me and slammed into us." "Roman destroyed another car," Remus crooned, and there was the eye twitch. "What's that, 3? And you say Janice is cursed." "I take no responsibility for the Taurus or for this one. 2's a coincidence, 3's a pattern," Remus sang joyfully. Logan shook his head at them and chose to look over at Janice instead. "And you?" he asked. "You looked at your mission details and never responded." "You were trying to send me on a wild goose chase when my brother was missing." He tried to stand up and Remy pushed him back down again. "I was trying to get you in a controlled environment before telling you of the issues for fear you would overreact and do something careless if you found out on your own." "I already knew," Janice growled, "and that is not your call to make." Logan considered that. "Perhaps it wasn't," he agreed, "but you still should have attempted to communicate with me, at the very least so I would have known you were okay. For all I knew, Nelson had caught you in a lie and your cover had been blown." "It is blown," Janice muttered. "I smashed her phone, blew up her car, and disobeyed her. She sent men to kill me." That information was honestly a relief in a way. Janice had been in danger constantly while being a double agent, and Logan had grown more than fond of the man in the past few years. Not having to play nice with Barbara all the time would do him some good. "We'll have to reassign you," Logan said, "as well as Remus, and you'll both need new permanent residences." "We already decided we're getting an apartment together," Remus said. "You decided," Janice said weakly, clearly not actually interested in protesting but needing to keep up appearances. "And we're going to get a kitty." Logan said. "Well, in that case, I would highly suggest you verify it is, in fact, a kitty before you allow it on the premises. I have made that mistake before." "You love Raphael," Remus claimed. "Possum," Roman explained at Janice's questioning look. "In fact," Logan said, "it may be advisable that Remington consider moving as well. Nelson very much knows where you live and will likely be unhappy with your continued existence. At least you should consider taking up residence somewhere else temporarily. For tonight, I'll get everyone set up in some of the rooms in the base, but that will come later. For now, we need to get everything sorted out. I have a good overall idea about what happened at this point. Is there any other important information I need to deal with immediately?" Most everyone shook their heads, and Logan was about to move on to getting more detailed reports when Remus raised his hand. "Yes?" Logan asked. "There are 2 of Barbara Nelson's men tied up in the trunk of Lena's car," he offered. What? Logan asked. They were the guys shooting us that caused Roman to drive into the pond. I did not drive into the pond, Roman said. You were shot at?